we're always trying to get out of this is something, a takeaway for coaches, athletes, parents, whatever. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about getting kids in sports and running them up the ladder.
Yeah, I think our system's really great because we're able to, I'm able to get them at 12 years old. 85% of our school, our high school, plays the sport.
Yeah,
So, we're just and if you're playing a sport in the high school, weightlifting is built into your schedule. So it's a requirement if you're playing a sport. So they just build weightlifting right in as a class. And so that concept means I'm likely gonna see you for 7 years straight with some gaps for school breaks and summers, right?
right,
Which makes the responsibility on me to go, what are we trying to get to? And then how do I work backwards to where we are? And then how do I create a progressive model that gets you there? And so for us, like that what I just tell people like, man, use those sixth, seventh, and eighth grade years when they're not even have a chance of playing a varsity sport because they can't, they're not in high school yet,
hmm
to lay a really, really, really important foundation. The foundation isn't work capacity. I say that because they're gonna have all kinds of different gamut on where they are with puberty in sixth, seventh, and eighth grade.
yeah, yeah,
You're gonna have some people who haven't hit it by the time they get to eighth grade. You're gonna have some that hit it in fifth grade. And so you just don't really know. Like if work capacity is your goal, you don't know if you're actually building it.
right,
Um, and so you're chasing something that you can't even measure. And so what for us, like sixth, seventh, and eighth grade is about two really important goals. Teaching them to train, like how do we function inside of a weight room? How do I use my time wisely? How do I make sure to follow a tempo? How do I that kind of element, like just cognitively, how do I get through a workout and get every rep that I can get and get every amount that I can get from the 35 minutes that I'm in there.
hmm
So that we get to high school, I'm not teaching that. Like that's just normal.
right,
And then secondly, like, we just want to be perfect movers when we get to high school. Like by ninth grade, I want to move absolutely perfect. I want to be able to hit the bottom of a snatch with perfect form, with great foot movement, with great lockout. I want to be able to hinge really well. I want to be able to do everything from a really heavy goblet squat to a really beautiful clean and jerk, and not have to worry about teaching when I get to ninth grade. Because in ninth grade, we're building work capacity, right?
right.
Then you're building a lot of that resiliency we talked about, we're building a big work capacity because ideally ninth some and at least some portion of 10th were not a high impact varsity athlete. Now there's going to be some freaks in there that are, and
hmm
you have to like everything caveats when that happens,
Sure.
right? But from a model standpoint, learn to move, learn to train, and then like hit the gas pedal in ninth grade. Also, middle school, I'm trying to get them to play everything, like play every sport. There should not be a season where you're not playing a sport. Play everything, and then get to ninth grade and remove one of them, right? Like give me a winter or a spring or a fall. Remove one of them. It's really hard because of overlap with sports now and the way the
hmm
GHSA set it up. If I play football, basketball, baseball, football is going to bleed over basketball season, right? So I'm going to be playing football till December, and then I'm going to pick up basketball as soon as I'm done. And that basketball season is going to go all the way to March. And so that's going to bleed over baseball season, which started in February. And baseball season is going to go to May. Well, we started spring practice for football,
Right.
and like there's never and it and you when you add that like circular element to building work capacity in the weight room. Plus, now we're doing outside trainers because we're trying to develop a specific skill that's going to get us recruited. Plus, we're doing camps. Like, there's too much, and
Yeah.
something's going to break. And so that's kind of how we structure that. Like, learn to move, learn to train, build work capacity, train hard, and then junior, senior year, I'm gonna start to sharpen the edge and pull some stuff away to that you don't necessarily need, right? Like, all right, if you got a 600-pound back squat, like I'm probably gonna change the emphasis a little bit, sharpen that edge, and we're gonna be a little more accelerative strength, speed strength work for you rather than absolute strength. And my goal is, hey, how do I increase your momentum a little bit? Like how do I don't know that you need to be stronger. You just need to be able to move
Right.
faster. Is that gaining weight? Is that losing weight or is that getting faster? Like how do I do that? So I'm
hmm
going to sharpen the edge a little more specifically if you're a high impact varsity athlete junior, senior year. And that's sort of how that model looks long ways. What I want to do is I want to see a kid graduate and go to a college playing a sport and step on campus, and that strength coach goes, "Thank God they're from Hebron,"
Yeah.
right? Like, thank God. Like you can skip freshman thing, just go ahead and go. Like we just sent a kid to Virginia, and I watched him work. Like he ended up on one of their Twitter videos in their off season football workouts, and the face of the coach is the face I've been making for the last year. Like he did a squat, and the coach was like, "What?" Like he just like, whoa, like full depth, butt on the floor, flies up, 600 pounds on his back at 0.58 meters per second, like just screaming fast with big weights. And his face, you see the coach's face. And I was like, yep, I made that face for a year.
That's one of mine.
And
I did
so
it.
that's like what I'm trying to develop. Well, in order to develop that, we got to move well, we got to learn to train, then we got to build capacity, then we got to sharpen the edge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
having them that 6 through 8, it's like a superpower.
it's like cheating.
Yeah, it's awesome. Though,
It
but I mean
is.
that's I don't want to get into the politics of school, but man, like that's just how kids should be. They should be moving like that, learning to move.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and solve a lot of things.